I think this is the first time I've ever filmed when the sun is still out. But welcome to this week's vlog. I don't really have much to say. I haven't really been doing a lot of writing. Um, Last Friday was my last day of placement in my placement school, so I have this whole week off to do nothing, and I have been doing nothing. I have been writing for the tabletop game that I am the DM of, but that doesn't really count as actual writing. And I haven't really been reading much because I've been obsessed with crocheting. So we need to get back on it. I also have a shortened amount of time to film this week because I'm going to be away this weekend. So I have to get the video up and ready and scheduled on Friday before I leave. So it's probably not going to be a long one, but we will see. So let's just go straight to the updates. And by updates, I mean talking about Nona the Ninth. I am about, I think, 100 pages in. Let me double check. Yeah, 106 pages in. I'm scared. I'm so scared what's going to happen to Nona. Because it's there are things going on, but it feels like a little bit of a slice of life thing. And this is Tamsin Muir, so it's not going to be cute. I never thought I would love a character named Hot Sauce so much, but honestly, she's iconic. And I am just curious about what's going to happen. I find this one is not as hard to get into as Gideon the Ninth was. I had a hard time getting into that one, and I had a really hard time getting into Harrow the Ninth. But that is just everyone has a hard time getting into Harrow the Ninth because it's so confusing for the first little bit. But yeah, Nona is, maybe it's because the writing's a little bit simpler because Nona is technically a child, but it is still very interesting. Anyways, I am really enjoying this book, and I don't think I will get it done by the end of this week like I had hoped to, though maybe if I actually sit down and read. I am going to be taking a flight this weekend, so hopefully I can just spend the whole time reading, but we shall see. As for writing, I did work a little bit last Friday on The Nature of the Beast, which you did see in the previous vlog. So nothing new has changed then. But I have actually been writing for a different story. It has no title yet. It's just called The Main Character's First Name. And I had a bunch of plot notes written in a notebook from back in September. So I just used that and typed those up during my weekly call with Jackie, which I didn't film this week because it wasn't really a conversation. We were just kind of we actually locked in and focused. So that was fun. So I already reset the writing, but as you can see, I made this document in 2023 and haven't worked on it since. So yesterday I was doing some plotting for this story. It's called Desdemona. It is, I don't really know how to describe it. It is sort of a romance, sort of a mental health commentary story, but I typed up all the characters' information and stuff, and basically the summary of the overall novel, and that's how many words I got done. It was during my writing call with Jackie, so we actually were productive this week. Last week, not so much, but this week, pretty good. And got some stuff done. I wrote about almost 2,000 words, but it was plot notes and character notes, so it doesn't really count as writing, but it is still plotting. So it goes in the spreadsheet anyways. And I think I'm going to be working on that because I did start writing by hand the chapter outlines, at least chapter 1 and part of chapter 2. I already have things that I want to change from the actual written notes, but I think it's just a good way to get me back into writing, especially since I haven't written since Sunday and it's now Tuesday, which I mean isn't that long. It's I didn't write yesterday, oops. But I feel this is what I want to work on right now. And honestly, I have no deadlines. All the deadlines I have are just stuff I made up for myself. So I am just going to be writing what I want to write. And my little baby Toasty is sitting on the bed Maybe I'll move the camera. Maybe you can see her. There she is. So cute, so iconic, keeping me company. So here is the summary of the story that I am working on slash plotting. Right now it's called Desdemona because that's the main character's name. And this is just like really quickly written up for my reference, not to be like put on the back of a book. So it's not going to be that great. But Des is a highly intelligent woman who developed schizophrenia in her late teens. She is unable to work because of it. She had dreams of being an orthopedic surgeon, which she had to give up after her mental health got worse when she was 18. She mostly hears voices and music and has synesthesia related to sound. People's voices each have their own colors. She hates her life and how much of her potential was wasted, and she feels guilty about it all the time. She paints with watercolors. Lexi, her childhood friend, comes back from his master's in an attempt to get Dez's mom, who's a renowned surgeon, as a reference to get into medical school. He comes back into her life. Drama ensues. Des realizes that she can be worthwhile even if she's not a doctor. Her father might have a divorce arc. Who knows? Um, Des gets hospitalized at the end and feels abandoned, but like her friends visit her all the time. Her mother is notably absent during this time. Des pretends it doesn't hurt, and that's all I have written. So let's start plotting off chapter 1. At least I have a bunch of characters. I have no idea if all of them will actually make it into the story. At least the family will, and the other character, but 2 of them I might just scrap. But let's get going. Apologies if you can hear my partner vacuuming, but this is where I'm going to end it. I will film how many words? 711. But again, I'll just type in stuff up. So it's nothing really new or fancy. Anyways, so there's the 711 words. As you can see, very quickly written up because there's so many typos. So I found a clip of myself last night of just writing out by hand. There's no volume or no intro because my partner was listening to a video in the kitchen, and so there was audio in the back, and I didn't want to talk over that or have you listen to that, so it's just time skip. It was for the short story anthology that I'm working on, and honestly, I'm thinking of scrapping it because it just feels like trauma dumping, and I don't think I'm doing it in a transformative way. Meanwhile, this story that I'm plotting is like the same thing, but at least more narratively interesting, and it's a novel, and there's like that sense of like detachment from it that's not as intimate or uncomfortable. So I'm thinking I might just completely scrap the short story thing and do other short stories, just not related to that. I do have these like prompt books. They had them everywhere in Indigo, and you can tell this, I bought this a while ago because it was $12.95. This would be like $20 now. And I think a few of them, yeah, I have like 2019 is when I started working on this. So there's a bunch of prompts in here. I don't know if they're like creative writing prompts. So I might do a series where I go through this like once every 2 weeks and do a prompt and write something for it. I also have this, and there's a sticker on it because when I took off the barcode, I ripped the cover and it was bothering me, so I put a sticker on over top. But it's Complete the Story, and it's just like it has intro lines for the story that you should complete, or that you finish and you complete. So I might do these as just like exercises or writing, just to get something down that's not long form, or like, you know, just use prompts and stuff like that, just sort of branch out. But I don't know, because every time I look at these, I sort of like flip through it and I'm like, ugh, these prompts suck. Maybe I'm just not a very creative person and I don't know, but I just like look at them and I'm like, ugh, ew, boring. But maybe that's my fault. So I might challenge myself and work through these. I feel like I would write them out by hand, not in the books, but on paper, maybe have like a special notebook for it, and then type them up, and then maybe I'll post them on my Substack or something like that. I have a Substack. I haven't used it at all. I was supposed to record some of the Monster of the Week story, or From the Ashes We Rise, which is the story posted on AO3. And I have not done that at all. I have been taking this week as a vacation, and I have not been being very productive in the sense I said, like at the beginning clip, I was like, I'm going to be so productive. I'm going to film so much. I'm going to record so much. And then I haven't. And this video has one less day to come out because Friday night I am going to be on a plane visiting a friend in a different province for the weekend. So I have to schedule this video to come out on Saturday. So I have one less day to actually film or edit, and my cat is being silly in the background. But yeah, I feel like I'm not going to have any writing recorded or posted, which sucks. And I haven't been working on The Nature of the Beast at all. I have been typing out plot notes for Desdemona, and it's just, I haven't been writing very much, which is kind of a pity. I have been sort of not feeling the greatest, like off and on, just like headaches and uncomfortable nausea and stuff like that. And I think I mentioned last video that I do think I am getting sick, but I hope not. Or at least it's just like my migraines are acting up. I have quite a lot of headaches and it's just not fun. But we are going to be working on some writing right now because we are at my little desk. It is freezing in my room, so I have my heated blanket on. My room gets so cold regardless of the heat or anything like that because it's in a basement. And I think I commented on last time I filmed in this little like area, but like the sun is out. That's crazy. Haven't been seeing that, or haven't been filming with the sun out because it's usually sets by the time I get home from work. So we shall start writing. I think I'm gonna just type up what I have for chapter 2 of Desdemona, at least like hand plotted out, and then maybe, because there's not that much, there's like 2.5 little pages. They're not like full notebook pages. And then a scene that I started writing out that is not related to anything else. And I don't even know who the 2 characters are in this scene, but it's dialogue. Ah, okay, that's who it is. Okay. But let's get going. We have little Toasty joining us. She's giving herself a little bath in her little chair. And I shall get typing. Writing has been taking a backseat, and it shouldn't. I want to work on it more. But then school's starting next week, and I'm going to have a bunch of schoolwork, so writing's going to get put more on a backseat. It's just, let me know if you'd be interested in little short stories based off of these. Get some easy writing in. Type up stuff you already did. Add whatever. Do I have those notebooks still? I hope so. Okay. So I have typed up all that I need for the second chapter, at least all that I have written, and it is about 651 words. It initially came to be as like a romance, but I might just make it like a family drama, honestly. It's like it doesn't need to be romantic. It shouldn't be. Maybe, but again, it is the outline right now, and a lot can change from the outline to the final draft. So we'll see. Anyways, that's where I'm going to end right here. I didn't record an outro or outro. I didn't record an intro or a time lapse for this, but I did do 718 words for The Nature of the Beast because I just impulsively felt like working on it. Probably going to have to fix this, but it's being written and I feel good about it. So it is a scene that I will rework and definitely include though. And the chapter, 2,000 words, total 65,000. So we're getting there in the draft. I just need to get through this fucking second arc, and then the third arc is going to be amazing because I have most of that planned out already, and there's scenes I'm really excited to rewrite. So let's get going. So this is where I'm going to leave off this week's vlog. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button. And if you're not already subscribed, please subscribe to follow me along on this journey. I'm hoping that next week it will be little bit of a longer video. And maybe there'll be some travel stuff in there because I will be away this weekend. But thank you for watching and have a lovely day.